Good evening, everybody. So I went to a photographer meetup this evening, and I always feel really awkward at any kind of meetup, and I always feel really awkward talking about myself, and I don't want to be that person that's like, listen to my concert photography stories. But I went to this meetup, and we had to go around the room and like say who we are and tell a concert or tell a story about when we were shooting somewhere and something interesting happened, whether we met somebody famous or just something really interesting happened in our photojournalistic activities. And so, because I predominantly do concert stuff, those are like the stories that jump to mind. And after I did, I was really nervous to be like talking about myself like that. But after I did, it was kind of fun, and people enjoyed it. And it just made me think, I don't want to force myself on people, but it would be fun to maybe tell these stories and put them like up on YouTube or on TikTok or something, because then you don't have to listen to me talk if you don't want to, but they're kind of fun stories if somebody actually does want to hear them. So I'll go ahead and say the stories that I told at this meetup. I'll at least tell one of them right now, and then I'll tell you the other one later, because I don't want this to be like 5 years long. I always talk too much on videos anyway. But basically, so the first story I told, and the first story I'm gonna tell everybody here in this series, or whatever it ends up being, is one of the first things that ever happened to me when I started out in concert photography. Like, not right off the bat, but into the heavier, I don't want to say the second year, because I started really slow, way back when. But anyway, back to my point, I shot summer camp in 2016, and there were amazing artists there. Like, I was so excited to shoot summer camp in 2016 because the Roots were there, and Tom Petty was there with Mudcrutch, and Jason Isbell, and Ani DeFranco, and I might be saying these people's names wrong. I'm going to be embarrassed. But anyway, a lot of really, really great bands. Fishbone. It just goes on. And George Clinton and P-Funk. And so that was the only year I did it. And I think probably the best year in the universe. And it was the first time I'd done a music festival. And it's a lot, like carrying camera gear, and just like it's a little bit overwhelming. And also, when I work, I'm predominantly sober. Like, I'm not trying to party it up. It's lugging gear around and doing all this stuff. And halfway through this festival, I'm just like, I don't know if I can do this. It's really hard. I'm sweaty. Like, I had already lost a lens hood thing. It's just a big mess. And I was just like not wanting to be around people, and not knowing how this was going to turn out, if any of my pictures were any good. And then I was like getting away from people and needed to get back to my tent. So I went the long way around, and I went back in this field area, and I'm walking in this kind of back field just away from everybody else. And there's a little gravel road, and a golf cart is like coming up behind me. And I kind of look, and I'm like, I don't know who that is. I'm just going to mind my own business. I'm not trying to meet any people. And so the golf cart kind of slows down when it's going around me, and it passes me. And then there's like a double seat on the back, and on the double seat of the golf cart is George Clinton himself. And he looked right at me. And he nodded. And so for just like 2 seconds, George Clinton acknowledge my existence. And that has been one of the highlights, not just of my concert photography career, but it's been one of the highlights of my life. Like a friggin' legend knew I existed for at least a couple seconds, long enough to get a so hell yeah. I was like, hell yeah, I'm on the right path. Anyway, that is one of the stories. I don't know if you made it through and you enjoyed it. Thank you for being here, and come back and I'll maybe tell some more later. So it's nice to see you this evening. Hope to see you again. Bye.